All right, so as we begin week 2, I want to know how many did their vision boards.
I thought about it.
I would love, yes. Oh, you did old school. I love it because that is something I miss about doing this in person and having the poster boards and the glue and just all the crazy is being able to do that way instead of just digitally. Although I can say digitally was pretty easy and easier, I guess, than trying to find stuff. So tell us about your vision board.
Oh no, I said I thought about it.
Oh, Kathy, so you thought about it. I saw Kathy showed hers.
Oh, I think Kathy did. I lost my pictures. Kathy needs to talk.
Yeah, she's on mute. So I guess you were talking and I saw her showing it. So I thought Kathy was saying she did hers.
Kathy, unmute yourself.
Okay. Oh, there, now she's on. Okay.
So
I have echo going on. Let's see what's going on here.
That's too weird. I'm gonna move my phone.
Maybe guess what? Better sit right here.
Wow.
We had 2 Kathys and now we have an echo on Kathy.
It could be because Carol and I are here together.
Are you in the same room?
Yeah, I'm getting off.
That's what it is.
Just put your mute on.
Well, that looks great, Kathy. I'm glad you did that. And I hope you, I mean, really, as far as the business planning, doing the vision board, it's that visual aspect. So we'll get into the numbers and we create the plans, all of that. But the vision boarding is nice. And the fact it's that visual reminder of what you want. So that's why that part is good.
There were a lot of, actually, I really took off on this. I was telling them yesterday that I really found this to be such a great tool. And I did a lot of research on different vision boards and how you do them so that you can really make these things happen. And there was a movie and it was just so strange. There was a movie that my husband and I watched and I recommend that everybody watch it. And I know you've all read the book. A couple years it was way out and it was, you know, just a big thing. It's called The Secret. Mm-hmm. And it's on Netflix, I think. But it's about this man who comes into these people's lives, his family's life, and talks to them about how if you see it, you think it, that can happen. And granted, there's stuff that happens in it that, you know, is not real, but it was weird because we'd watched this a couple of weeks ago and then I got this last week and then all these things kind of started happening and moving together. One of the things that I did was I took your basic board that you had. What do you want to do with 2021 and what do you want it to look like? And then I just started writing stuff down. And then you put in 5 years and then you put in 10 years. So in 10 years, I'm going to be 70. And within 5 years, I want to travel more. I want to go to Napa Valley. I want a house with a backyard, a ranch house with a backyard for my dog. So I've got a picture of a girl in the backyard with a dog. I want a new car. So I put down a Mercedes convertible because I used to have one and what the heck. So I want to sell 10 new first-time buyers. So I put the little house times 10. Because it's 2021, I put that I'm going to make $201,000 next year. I put inspire greatness. I put my sunshine in the center, which is my why. I don't know if you guys can see this.
Oh, I love that. Yeah.
Dream big, I want to dance with my son at his wedding. That was canceled last year. I want to inspire greatness. When I love these two sayings, they're just my favorite sayings. When something goes wrong in your life, just yell, plot twist, and move on. And seek to be worth knowing rather than well known.
Oh, I love that. That's
I want to be healthy and eat better food. I want to drink more water. I've got water. I want to believe in myself. So these are just some of the things that I did. I didn't get a lot, and I did it on Canva because I have a board and I'm trying to put it on there, but I gave away all of my craft scrapbooking stuff to the little girls down the street. And so now I find that I probably need to go to Michael's and redo it.
It was nice to do it, on the poster board, but it was equally as nice just to do it in Canva. Now it's digital, I print it. For me, we only started doing the vision boards maybe 3 years ago. And that was really a game changer for me. I've been doing the business planning forever on the business, personal level. But I found that adding this vision board element to it and putting that in my office and, right behind my computer, it's something that I see every day. So it's that visual constant reminder versus, going back to my business plan, usually like every quarter, just to stay on track as we create that roadmap. That's usually what I would do. But having that visual reminder every single day going into my office, that was a true game changer. So that's why we added the vision board element to it, even though at first it really seems kind of elementary, but it really does. That visual reminder is crucial for that whole roadmap. And it really kind of brought everything with the business planning together. So as we move forward, it's who or what do you want to be? Who or what do you want to do? And what do you want to have? So it's kind of like the be, the do, and the have is what we'll kind of go over a little bit today. There's little notes. So for your best year ever, as you go through these different elements, like physical, health, and energy, what would your goal or outcome be? And what action or habit needs to change in order to reach that goal or outcome? So I noticed for myself, especially right now, because it's, I sit in my office all day and, I used to at least travel to Florida every month and, be out with my friends and family, but that, traveling just isn't something I've done a lot this year. So I found myself just sitting in my office every single day. But, in this fall, I definitely like going for hikes and stuff, but man, I realized I may have lost a lot of weight, but I am super not in shape because, hiking a half a mile, like I can't even breathe. I'm like, okay. So physical health and energy for me is I need to find ways to get out and walk to be able to be healthier so I can go for those longer hikes. And my action would be to do more, physical activity, taking the dogs for more walks and everything like that. So just think, the mindset, emotion, the goal or outcome is to not stay in a funk long or to be in that positive mindset. Well, what action or habit do I need to change? Maybe that's waking up and exercising, or waking up and listening to a playlist that just gets you in the right mindset and mood to start the full day. I know like Tony Robbins, they were, it's like having a personal sized trampoline where you're supposed to get up out of bed and you just do like, 20 jumps in there. It just hypes you for the morning and getting the day started right. So same with your, all of these other elements, the professional, the relationship, family, financial, fun time. And that all just is for that complete circumference of that balance in life is what is your goal and outcome and what action or habit needs to change in order to reach that. So that'll be just part of an exercise. This is all for that best year ever as far as your balance goes. The next one is rating yourself. And where are you today with your business systems? You know, what systems are you using in your business that work for you, help you work smarter, not harder? You know, are you kind of have 10 different ones, but really only using one efficiently or anything like that? How are you as far as multiple business resources? You know, we have those pillars to your business. You know, how are you at leveraging having different systems to generate leads and prospects and stuff? How are you on the positive mindset? 2020 has definitely been an interesting year, and I think it's been harder for all of us to keep that positive mindset. So how are you, if you had to rate yourself today on having a positive mindset? What about those strong foundation skills, the influence and language skills? How are you able to communicate? Communication has changed a lot in 2020 because a lot of it has been not as much in person and belly to belly as we normally have. And we've had to utilize video and text and email, virtual, a lot differently this year. It's been growth opportunities, but it's also been a change in kind of how we do business and different things. So how are you in that influence and your language skills and, you know, how we're doing business right now? Converting objections, defending your fee, your market knowledge and stats. You know, if you go on a listing presentation and the seller says, you know, what are the stats going on in this neighborhood? How well do you know those stats for especially the areas you farm and those big cities that you work? You know, how are you at, you know, knowing those stats and market stuff like that? I mean, right now it's constantly changing and the market's just insane right now. It's crazy. What about loyal buyers? You know, do you have those loyal buyers? Are people would always think of you first when it comes to, you know, buying or selling? How is your listing presentation? You know, is that something that you could work on or, you know, maybe tweak with how technology has kind of changed this year? How are you at pricing your property? I know right now it's a little crazy with the inventory being so low and, you know, everything happening so fast. How are you on your customer service? You know, are you creating an experience for your clients? Organization and time management, that's huge. I know that's probably one of the number one questions I get very often is, you know, being able to stay organized. And I know we were just talking about this as we, you know, started today, was the links for the Zoom to, you know, I should probably send an email instead of just the post. For me, if I put it, you know, I have everything on my calendar. So everything I do, if it's not on my calendar, it pretty much doesn't exist. So I put everything there, but that's just part of organization. It's how I work well. So, but to send an email, now I know I should probably do that just so everyone kind of has the links and stuff like that. But for me, organization, I use my calendar is because it syncs with my phone and everything else. It's always, for me, a way to keep me organized. And your time management. I mean, and as agents, you're kind of like all over the place and almost that, you know, the beck and call. How are you at managing your time? For me, my power hour is like 6 to 9 in the morning. I'll get more done in those 3 hours than I will the entire rest of the day because people are not calling or texting or emailing me at those times. So I need to, you know, as far as working out, I don't want to replace my 6 to 9 because that's my strong hours for getting actual work done. How are you at your, you know, do you have a power hour, you know, whether that be working out, your mindset, or actually getting work done? Do you have any type of a schedule or do you just, you know, fly at the seat of your pants? Let's see, we got some chats going on here. I got to open that up for me. Yeah, my best time is completely super early. And yes, Kathy, these spreadsheets, they're on every email I've sent as far as the workbook, so people could have it printed, but it'll be in the recap email today as well. I can email it to you as well, but we've got up the links to this actual full workbook and all the emails that we've sent. Let's see, negotiating your commission and presenting your value. Those are kind of two that go along, but what do you do that's different? Are you able to, you know, speak that and, you know, basically negotiate if you're going up against, you know, somebody who's got a lower commission fee? You know, do you have value? What do you do that's different? Are you able to present that in a positive way? You know, to me, it's you get what you pay for. And if you do professional photos or 3D tours, you know, what is your value? What are you bringing to the table? And how are you at presenting that to, you know, on a listing appointment or to a client and, you know, in general. So this is all about rating yourself and where you are today. And then as you go, you have the low to high. So there's always room for improvement, no matter where you're at. Nobody's ever perfect. We're always growing. That's what's so great about real estate, is it's constantly evolving and changing. So knowing where you rate yourself will help you know where, as we build this roadmap, you know, some of the items that you'll be able to add to that list on, you know, stuff that you may want to focus on. So our SWOT is the strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. So as we go through, it's like, what are your personal strengths? What do you excel at? What advantages do you have? What do others say about you? And then weaknesses, you know, have you received the same criticism from multiple people? You know, what causes you to lose a listing or sale? What do others see as your weakness? What are competitors doing that you may not be doing? You know, what are the opportunities, the market trends, you know, government changes, community growth, social patterns, you know, age groups, I mean, lifestyles, that's huge right now as far as, I mean, the opportunities. People are working from home more than ever. So that is a huge opportunity, you know, to help somebody find, maybe they need a bigger space. I think 2020 in general, maybe, you know, whether they're going through a divorce or they realize, you know, they need a bigger house because, you know, kids are doing online or, you know, people are working from home. There's a lot of opportunities and everything. I mean, you have all the Corona babies that are coming out, like March, I think, February, March, all these Corona babies are happening. I know a few myself that have Corona babies. So there's a lot of opportunity. We've had a ton of lifestyle changes. Those are all opportunities and, you know, what's going on with the market right now. Then you have your threats, you know, obstacles you may be facing, personal business, you know, are you threatened by technology? You know, with the technology changes this year and how we've, you know, definitely had to evolve and grow, you know, is that a weakness for you? And do you need help with that? The new special, you know, real estate changes, you know, we have to adjust. That's the great thing about real estate in general, is it's always evolving. I mean, think of, I mean, the listing inventory, I've been in real estate since the 90s. And I mean, it's just ridiculous. There is no inventory. So it's learning how to adapt to all of this stuff. So this is just kind of like, just your SWOT and knowing. And then this is where we're going to do the SWOT analysis. So this is where, when you're talking about what are your strengths, what are your weaknesses, where are opportunities, and what are the threats? So this will be kind of part of the homework. And just basically the list on the one side are just some ideas on what you can list here for your strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. Because let's not let things happen. Let's make things happen for us. And knowing what your SWOT and knowing, you know, what this analysis is will help you. Now, your thoughts matter. In order to create a life of abundance, you must train your mind to think unlimited thoughts. I think we all do this to each other. We kind of have that self-talk, self-doubt, and we need to rewrite this. And this is super important. I know it's something for me, is all these limited beliefs. You know, for me, it was, you know, all the training classes and actually opening that up and going live, and like the tech and tools, we do weekly training, or, you know, when I've been a presenter at R4 or anything like that, I have such limited beliefs, like, you know, getting on video. I'm like, I hate my voice, or I may say something that somebody doesn't believe in, or, I mean, it's like that constant self-doubt talk that you do to yourself. Write those down. You know, what are 5 limited beliefs that you're always saying? Maybe, you know, for me, it's, I hate the sound of my voice, or there's no filter on video. I don't want to put myself out there. I need to rewrite that. Like, it's okay. Or maybe, you know, something's changed and I'm going to offend somebody when I do a training class. It's okay. Like, things are constantly changing. I have a wealth of knowledge. I just need to share it. Maybe it's somebody who, you know, your limited belief is I've only lived here for 2 years. Why would somebody use me versus somebody who's lived, in an area their whole life? Like, rewrite these limited beliefs that you keep talking to yourself about. Rewrite that as an unlimited belief. So that's what this is. And it's definitely more of a personal level. And a lot of times when you just see this, you may not even realize what you're telling yourself on a day-to-day basis. So, as this week goes on, or I think we have 2 weeks before week 3, I really want you to think about those limited beliefs that you tell yourself in your brain, like all the time, and rewrite those, write them down as you do them, rewrite it so that you can make it an unlimited belief. It is not true, but it's just something that we self-talk, and we are our worst critic. So, write down the top 5 that you realize you do to yourself and rewrite them. And then our plan. So it's all about, who do we want to be? What do we have to do so that we can have what we want? It's that do, have, be. We need to dream big. We need to find our future focus. We need to stay accountable to be able to achieve our goals. And that's where you have that vision board. We're going to get into the homework, which this was when you registered. And I believe all the emails I've been sending out has the homework. That wasn't so much fun, but you have your 2020 business, the business part, the business expenses. So you have, all of your monthly, annual, this is just kind of anything that has to do with business. And then how do you, project it to be 2021? Some of these won't really change that much. Some of these, as you go down and do your business and personal, you may want to increase the marketing or increase, online lead gen. So it's really, what are you doing now for 2020? What are your expenses? And what do you project 2021 to be? So you're going to do your business as well as the personal. And this was in the homework, which I'll send in the recap as well, but it was in last week's email as well as when you signed up and registered for the class, it had your homework. So yes, this is the homework for the next 2 weeks, but you also received it. Hopefully you kind of got started on it. It's one of it is the only not fun homework that we have throughout this entire business planning, but it is probably the most important homework that you'll have. And if anybody's ever been in coaching, usually this will be your first assignment through any coaching program that you do. And it's actually quite amazing as you go through your different business expenses. You may find that there's a lot of shiny new objects that you've paid for after going, to a class or convention or anything that you're not using. So that's what I always find out is, oh my gosh, I'm spending, $150 a month. I totally forgot about it. So this is something for me when I was doing coaching was the biggest eye opener, and that I need to be checking this more often because I'm always buying into the latest technology. But when I find it doesn't really, work into my business planning, I can cancel it and I save myself a lot of money. And I know that when March hit, mid to end March, this was the first thing I did, even though it had only been a couple months since I had done it. It was the first thing I went to was all my bank statements. Like, what am I using? What am I not using? What can I cut back on? Because, in March, we had no idea what was going to be happening. So this is something, and something that's ever changing. You can always go back to and reflect, what are you spending the most money on? What can we cut back? So your homework for this week is this expenses. And also in the homework it's not on here, but it'll be when we start next week, is going to be your, let's see, what is it called? Let me go. I've got my little book printed here. It'll be your, well, let me see. I actually have it. I can pull it up. Right here. It'll have, let me see if I don't know. Can you see this or you still see the homework?
Homework.
Okay, you still see that homework. So you'll see your business, and then you're going to have on the homework sheet, it'll have my history. So it's just kind of 4 columns, super easy, but I'll have your sales volume, gross commission, the amount of transactions, and the amount of appointments, which you may not know the amount of appointments, but all the other numbers you should. But I would love to know, and even on the thread or inside of the Facebook group, you can always, we had a lot of fun. We have like a private group when we did this class last month. Just post a funny meme and you can tag me in it of what it's like when you do your personal and business expenses. Sometimes it's like, you know, you've thrown out money. Sometimes you're gaining that money because it's like eye-opening. But the memes and gifts are kind of funny when you do this assignment to see how much you're actually spending or what you can actually save. So I know for me, I was able to save $500 a month on stuff that I bought that I totally forgot about, that I just wasn't even using. So it's a super not fun homework assignment. However, it can be a game changer as far as monthly income, or, you know, like, oh, I forgot I was paying for this. Let me go back in and, you know, get back in there and you know, try to use it, or, you know, let it go. So that is the homework for this week, the least not fun homework of the series. Next week's won't be too bad. Definitely do the vision boarding if you didn't do that last week. Do your homework expenses. We have off for Thanksgiving week, so I hope everyone has amazing Thanksgiving. And then week 3 will be December 2nd at 10, and I'll make sure to send a reminder email prior to our class, so everyone has that. But I still have this recorded, so we'll send out a recap with the recording of this, so if you need to go back to it for anything. But other than that, that is it for this week.